What's up, Diamonds? It's your boy, Doc Reid, out here one more again, ready to talk about these relationships. And if you're new to Doc Reid, I have a gift for you. Yes, it is my free book, The Forbidden Secrets of the Goodie Box, which is here somewhere. It's right here. Forbidden Secrets of the Goodie Box, which your father didn't tell you and your mother didn't know. Now listen, okay? If you're new to Doc, this book right here, it would definitely bless you. Why will it bless you? Well, it's going to bless you because there's some great nuggets in there about why you have possibly been sabotaging your relationships. Why these guys have been able to take advantage of you and you have no idea what's going on. Okay, so if you want to get that, you can get that at my website, ChristopherReid.org. Download the PDF or the Kindle. Okay, so make sure you do that right after you get finished watching this video. All right, so today I want to talk about how some of you lose yourself in relationships or because you're trying to please a man. All right, now this happens a lot of times with women, that you get lost and you lose your identity in the relationship. But there are some times with some of you that I guess it would be accurate to say that the identity never really fully had a chance to develop. Okay. And this is what I mean by that. It's very common for me to hear the scenario where somebody had a very, very rough childhood. Okay. And when I say very rough, I mean that you were neglected as a child. Okay. You were neglected emotionally and you were neglected physically. And here's what I mean by that. I see this combination a lot where you have the physically absent father. Okay. He's either totally not there or he comes in and out. You know, and even he makes promises, daddy's going to come pick you up and he don't do it. You know what I'm saying? He disappoints you more than he, you know what I'm saying, delivers. But then we have the mom who, for whatever reason, she's hard as nails. Okay. Not warm and fuzzy at all. All right. So you're not getting the emotional nurturing, okay, feedback and support that you need. All right. So this makes for a very bad situation, okay, for you. And why is it bad? Because when we have these things as children, when we have that nurturing mom, we have that present dad, okay, and they're both engaged, okay, God in his masterful, okay, way of doing this thing called the family. All right. Children get the safety and the security that they need that develops their sense of identity. Okay. Because you get that support. When this is not there, guess what? There's no safety. And therefore your identity is never fully developed. No, come on, wait a minute. I'm going somewhere. All right. So what this does is this creates an atmosphere where you as a little girl became very desperate for attention and validation. Okay. Because in many regards, it's not uncommon that, you know, you were raising yourself. Okay. Mom may have been at work. Maybe she, you know, single mom, you know, I get it. You know, some of you are single moms. You know how rough that can be. She, you know, maybe she was working 2 or 3 jobs. She was doing all she could to just put food on the table. I get that. So when it came to you, she was tapped out. But at the same time, that left you, okay, to basically put it all together for yourself. And it didn't just all get put together because scripture says, train up a child, okay, in the way that they should go. All right. And let me be clear that, you know, because I know I'm talking to a lot of single moms. I'm not talking to those of you who, you know, you're doing your best and you're there. You know, you ain't going to be playing, you know, marbles in the floor with your kid, so to speak. But you're there. I'm talking about somebody who's just very hard as nails and there was no nurturing support there whatsoever. Okay. So when you don't have this validation, okay, and you don't get the attention that you needed, your discernment meter is off. Okay. And what I mean by that is when you get out here and, okay, you didn't learn anything about dating. You didn't learn anything about men. You didn't learn anything about relationships. Okay, you had to put it all together. Maybe you learn stuff from friends and just wherever you could pull it together from. All right. Your filter became underdeveloped. All right. So let's think about a filter. All right. So a filter is something that when something goes through it, then what it does is it takes out the bad so only the good can make it through. Oh, come on, somebody. All right. So some of you may have water filters. All right. There's all kind of crap in, our water. So many of you say, I'm not drinking that tap water. I just don't do that, because it'll a daggone gerbil liable to come out the sink. So it makes sure that all those impurities don't make it. Well, when you didn't get what you needed as a child, guess what? All the impurities make it through. Okay, so your thing is you're willing to give your all to anyone. Because like I said, you don't have that validation and you're starving for attention. So if everything makes it through, if everything is acceptable, if everything is perceived as good, all right, now you are set up, all right, to be taken advantage of. So let's just say Mr. Dictator, okay, comes on the scene. All right. You meet him and he is what I call that wolves in sheep's clothing. So now let's think about a dictator. A dictator doesn't show up on the scene and say, I'm a dictator. Okay. I'm going to ruin and control your life. You're not going to be able to do anything unless I sanction it. No, dictators don't come into power like that. See, dictators, what they do, a lot of them come across, they're very charismatic. You know what I'm saying? They know how to work the room. They know how to identify those that they need to target in order to put their sinister plan in motion. Okay, so by the time the dictator comes on the scene, he's already scoped you out. Oh, yeah. He knows that your filter is totally non-existent. All right. So he's going to give you that validation. He's going to tell you how wonderful you are. He's going to tell you how beautiful you are because, he's doing this. He's pulling you into his trap and you starved. I mean, you are just basically famished, okay, for love and attention. So it's really not a hard sell for him, okay? And he's not going to mess with the ones that, where the identity is there. And then once he starts to, come out of a bag, they like, oh, I don't know what you thought this was. But see, your thing, you didn't have that, okay? So once he's kind at first and he gets everything into position, you know what he does? Now he flips it. Yeah, he flips it on you. So you start to hear things like, where you going? Who you sleeping with? And you're like, wait a minute, where am I going? Who am I sleeping with? All I do is go to work. And, I'm only with you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's going on? What are we talking about right now? Where you been? Who you been? All these accusations. And so as they come out of nowhere, you kind of like, first, you're like, That's weird and that's odd. But then it gets more frequent. Okay. The accusations. All right. And then the behavior is more controlling. All right. And now you're in a place where you're like wondering what's going on. But he's so smooth with it. He's so deceptive with it. You know it doesn't feel right. But at the same time, like I said, you were starved for attention and validation. Now there's this connection. You almost feel somewhat indebted to your dictator. You ever wonder how come little bitty dictators, they're little bitty people, dictators, okay? Big attitude, but little bitty people. How are they able to be the dictator over many people? You know what I mean? Like, you're one little dude. You don't have muscles, you're not very intimidating to look at it, but you have all these people terrified of you. You ever wonder why that is? Yeah, because the dictator knows that if I can make you believe and see me, okay, as someone that is enormous, bigger than life, okay, and I can put that fear in you, but at the same time, it's I often said I wanted to do a book called is it Pimps, Pastors, and Presidents or something like that. I know it's like crazy, right? But there are people that know how to get in here to control. Okay, whole nother subject. So anyway, this is happening. So your thing is now, since these accusations come, you're trying to figure out, how can I please him? How can I make him realize that I'm not doing these things that he's accusing me of? So you start to look at everything to say, what is it that I can change in order to win his trust and approval? Okay, because he thinks I'm doing a bunch of things. So as you look around and you try to tighten things up and tighten up your schedule and, hey, babe, I just made it to work. Hey, babe, now you checking in. OK, you are coming into compliance even more so with the dictator. But you weren't doing nothing to begin with. But it's all the mind game. OK, and you start to realize, wait a minute, no matter what I do, I can't please this reverend. You know what I mean? You try to, and you're trying to figure out new and creative ways, but then you just start to feel insane because the dynamic between you trying to be in compliance and him still telling you that you're doing things makes you feel like you're losing your mind. I mean, literally, that's the emotional visual that you have, okay? And one of the things about this, because, the simple question is, why do you stay, right? That's the simple question. But the answer does not seem so simple, all right? Because for a lot of you, there's guilt. Yeah, there's guilt. So you said, well, where's the guilt come from? For a lot of you, okay, so let's go back to the childhood scenario. Absentee dad, physically, mom emotionally wasn't there, out of the picture. She hard as nails, so you wasn't getting the hugs that you needed. You wasn't getting the validation. All right. So as a child in your mind, you're thinking, oh, maybe my dad is not here because I did something wrong. You don't know how to interpret it. You're thinking maybe my mom would love me more if I was better. If I got better grades, if, I didn't get in trouble or, whatever. So now we project this, that childhood guilt onto our current situation with Mr. Dictator. All right. So now you think, oh, I'm destroying this relationship, this situation, because just like my parents, okay, had busted up and what's the common denominator here with the situation with them? That was me. So likewise here, it's my fault. Okay. Everything I touch, I destroy. I turn good situations into bad situations. But see, listen, let me tell you something. That is part of the challenge when you don't have that dad and that mom. They're training up that child in the way they should go. The child is left to come up with all these crazy, erroneous, ideas and belief systems about things because they're a child. You're a child. Okay. That's just way too much for a child to try to process. So like I said, now you're carrying that into this current situation and you're blaming yourself. So one of the reasons why people don't understand that you won't just leave, and a lot of people might not even know that you're with Mr. Dictator, because oftentimes Mr. Dictator in front of everybody else, they're charismatic and, he ain't like that. No, he can't. It's hard for me to believe he like Joe like that. Jim's like that. Richard ain't like that. Paul's, no, I refuse to believe. Chris is like, no, not Chris. You know what I mean? So he doesn't show that side, but you see something totally different. But at the same time, like I said, that guilt keeps you caged in. So you're not even out there promoting it like that anyway. Okay. And so everything is your fault. Everything is your fault. I don't care if it's raining outside. He's on you. Why and now I'm out here and I'm stuck and I ain't got no umbrella. You stupid. You dumb. If it's snowing, it's your fault. You are the human emotional punching bag. Okay, you're the place where he can dump all of his frustrations, all right, that have accumulated, okay, throughout the day, throughout his life, and he dumps it at your feet. And guess what? You take it, because like I said, we're talking about losing ourselves, okay? To trying to please a man, you're losing your identity, or that identity has never even had a chance to be created, okay? But you are totally lost in the abyss, okay, of being encompassed by Mr. Dictator, all right? And here's the reality. Here's what you need to know. He is sick. He is a sick, deranged individual. Okay. That is the best way that I can put it. All right. He manipulated your very innocent nature. Okay. He knew what was going. When he saw you, he was like, yes, this is someone that has absolutely no idea what I'm about to do. She doesn't, like I said, you didn't have a filter. Don't have a filter. Okay. So he's looking for people like that, people like yourself. And so at the end of the day, he knew what he was doing. Okay. So my message to you is this. If you say, wait a minute, hold on, everything you said was just spot on. Wow. How do you know about my situation? Okay. If you was feeling that, if you and I was here, okay, now what you need to do is you need to get away from Mr. Dictator. Okay, Mr. Dictator, with him, it don't get better. Okay, you already can see everything that you've tried to do to please him, nothing works. The more you do, basically, the more he beats up on you, the more he tells you that you're not nothing. Okay, so if you need help, I understand that trying to get out from under the grasp of Mr. Dictator is very difficult. If you need help, that's what I'm here for. That's why I come out here. Get at me. I'm always talking about if you want to know how to get help with your situation, get at me for a free consult. Okay. And that free consult, once you tell me your story and what's going on, and I assess and get to the heart of the matter of what's really happening. Now, okay, we're going to talk about coaching. All right. And what plan, we're going to put you on moving forward to get you out of the grips of the situation you are in, specifically Mr. Dictator. So one of the key components of that is finding your identity. You are lost. I mean, you are just, I don't know if any of you have seen that movie, Get Out. I think the director, one was Key and Peele from the popular TV show. But anyway, good movie. And if y'all saw that movie, you see, hopefully I'm not giving too much away if you haven't seen it. But so, they get lost and they get hypnotized and you just sitting there and you falling and you're like, that's what has happened to you. You are lost. You are lost, deeply embedded within yourself. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to find you. There is an identity in there. Okay, there is confidence in there. There is boldness in there. All right. But at the same time, that has to be developed. There's some skills that you need in order for that to come out. So anyway, that's what we're going to talk about. So like I said, if you need that, you get at me. You hit me up at ChristopherReid.org. Also, I've been talking to y'all about my group coaching as well. That is just so powerful. I mean, if you've never done anything in a group, I don't know if you've ever done Weight Watchers or whatever. That group concept is extremely powerful, just in terms of the support that you get with your peers, understanding that you're not alone and whatever you're dealing with, other people are going through the same thing that you're dealing with. You're not crazy out here, and you're getting that support exponentially, okay, from 9 other people. All right. So if you're interested in my group coaching, that's the Your Boo to I Do group coaching, which is very powerful. It's going to teach you about you. Okay, that baggage, those things that did happen in your childhood. It's also going to teach you about men. That's the boo part. You know what I'm saying? How to date, why men do the things that they do. And also the I do part. You know what I'm saying? Once you get to I do, that's the starting line. You know what I'm saying? As far as the marriage. Now, how are we going to take all this and put it together and make sure that we really don't just tap out? Because you know what? Nobody gets married to get divorced. I've never seen anyone that says, you know what, man, we were so extremely happy to get married, and we were, and we did it knowing that we were just going to happily get divorced 6 months later, 2 years later. That was, if we could just make it to 2 years and stay married, man, and get divorced, then that would be such a blessing. I've just never heard that. Okay. But it happens all the time. So what is it that goes into the marriage to make sure that that doesn't happen? And listen, that's all I got. If this resonated with you, get at me. Let me know. Okay. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Make sure that you realize that you are this, you are the diamond. Okay. This is a part of your identity right here. Okay, if even me putting this up here and calling you the diamond makes you feel a little weird, you squirm a little bit, that means that the identity, what I'm saying, awareness is a little off. Okay, and that's what we got to work on. So, all right, I'm your boy. I'm out of here, Christopher Doc Reid. I'll talk to y'all later. Oh, also, follow me on Instagram. I do videos more frequently on Instagram. It's at the Doc Reid. That's where you can find me, and got quite a few little snippets out there, just like a little daily vitamin I get at you, give you something to kind of keep you going, keep you motivated. All right, so I'll talk to you later. Be good. Peace.